Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, October 28, 2016. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Decked in national colors, Vincentians from all walks of life came together on Thursday, October 27, 2016 at the Victoria Park for the National Independence Parade in commemoration of SVG's 37th anniversary of political independence from Great Britain. The event commenced with the parade and inspection of armed and unarmed troops as well as other voluntary groups by Governor General Sir Frederick Ballantyne, after which the national address was delivered by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. We hear more about the event in this report from Nikita Tony.
Vincentians home and abroad yesterday, October 27, 2016, celebrated this country's 37th year of political independence from Britain. At the National Independence Parade held on Thursday morning, in commemoration of the celebrations, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, in the national address, expressed his satisfaction with the execution of the parade, especially with the attendance of the nation's youth, noting that after 37 years of independence, Vincentians have a lot to be and remain proud of.
Nation's progress, enhanced prosperity, peace, and socio-political stability have been achieved largely through our own efforts at home, in concert with the considerable assistance of our diaspora, friendly nations abroad, and supportive institutions and peoples. As we acknowledge our nation's socio-economic and technological advances, we must recognize too and lament our individual and collective shortcomings and fall from grace, and be accordingly contrite and recommit ourselves to do what is better and right.
After securing a fourth consecutive term in office through the December 9, 2015 general elections, Dr. Gonsalves outlined that amidst challenges and unsound doctrines, his administration remains focused on carrying out its mandate.
That we continue in our government to put people at the center of our socio-economic policies, especially as we seek to build a harmonious and just economic system conjointly through the private, cooperative, and state sectors. In this way, we can achieve our goal to construct a modern, competitive, post-colonial economy which is at once national, regional, and global in our people's interest.
Highlighting initiatives to be undertaken by the government in the upcoming weeks, the Prime Minister pledged the support of his administration in achieving a better state despite economic challenges.
The 110 persons who are employed as temporary clerks, some of them for several years in the public service, will all be employed with permanent status from January 1st, 2017. Advise His Excellency the Governor General to order the release of some young men and women who are serving terms of imprisonment for relatively minor offenses. The duty-free concession for Christmas barrels will commence on Monday, November the 14th, 2016, and run to December the 31st, 2016. Early in the new year 2017, our government will announce the naming of various facilities in honor of our distinguished citizens, particularly those who have gone to the great beyond. Announcements too will be made for a few more additional sporting and cultural ambassadors.
Dr. Gonsalves further pointed out plans to assist fellow Caribbean nation Haiti, which was devastated by the passing of Hurricane Matthew.
I have instructed the Director General of Finance and Planning to transfer an initial $50,000 US to assist the Haitian government in its relief efforts consequent upon the recent devastation wrought by Hurricane Matthew. The Haitians are our Caribbean brothers and sisters, whom we love dearly.
All Vincentians are being urged to become more familiar and appreciative of their history and the country, as it is the only way that we can move forward as a nation. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
And Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has expressed great concerns for the surge in crime and violence here. during the Toast to the Nation ceremony, which took place at the Old Montrose Police Training School following the National Independence Parade, which was attended by many persons, including delegates from the various foreign embassies. PM Gonsalves, in his address, said the crime situation is becoming a great concern and appealed to all to unite towards mitigating the issue.
We are not at levels of many other countries in the region, and I don't want to call their names. But anytime somebody gets injured or killed in this country as a consequence of criminal violence, because we are such a small country, it is felt immediately, because we are tightly knit as families, and there's a rippling effect, and people feel it. And certainly I, not as Prime Minister, but as citizen, I feel it. And I'd like you all, in whatever ways you can help us, to help us. Because this is a matter which is of great concern. We have to be careful that it doesn't get out of hand.
The Prime Minister boasts of this country's success in the area of health, noting that SVG has been recognized to have the best pediatric care in the entire Eastern Caribbean. He said this is supported under the World Pediatric Project.
They provide all their services free. They provide equipment. I'm talking about the World Pediatric Project. But they're integrated into our health system. So when the doctors and nurses and other skilled medical personnel come in, our Ministry of Health is responsible to ensuring that they are registered with the Medical Council here and with the Nursing Council, and the theatre space is provided for them. So when they come for, say, a 2-week or a 3-week period, and they come for several times in the year, number of different ones, they have dedicated theatre space. And in fact, in one of the theatres, they have spent a lot of money themselves, because they raise monies to keep this going.
Dr. Gonsalves said the project has benefited scores of children throughout the region.
We also provide free to children who are coming from the rest of the Caribbean. They come from all the OECS countries. They come from Guyana, they come from Suriname, and you may not believe this, because Barbados, generally speaking, has a better tertiary healthcare system than we have. But the children also do come from Barbados here. And the particularly complicated operations, the children are taken to Virginia or to St. Louis. And all of this is done free of charge to the patients since 2002. We have had about 7,000 consultations and over 700 surgical interventions of all kinds. And the total value of what is provided since 2002 is about $50 million US.
Governor General Sir Frederick Ballantyne continues to express his optimism for Caribbean integration. In his address to mark SVG's 37th year of independence, Sir Ballantyne said it is impossible for a small island state to survive independently given the harsh economic times. He, however, noted that efforts in this direction seem to be going at a snail pace.
Maybe if we strive for greater unity among our people on a national level in all of the islands, the goal of Caribbean integration might one day become a reality. Our success in the field of education is very commendable. We have many more schools since independence 37 years ago. We have better trained teachers, and more students are in the secondary and tertiary institution. But is our educational system preparing our students for today's world? Is there enough focus on science and technology? Are our graduates equipped to join today's job market?
The Governor General commended this country for the strides it has made in the health sector, noting that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is at a stage now where infants' mortality rates are low and all children are being immunized. But he outlined the state's finances are strained with a surge in non-communicable diseases, along with the emergence of new mosquito-borne diseases. So Ballantyne further made a strong recommendation for the investigation of the Cuban model care delivery in an effort to ascertain whether it is the best for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He also appealed to Vincentians to contribute towards poverty eradication.
We cannot depend on government alone to address this problem. I am therefore making a special appeal to all Vincentians, especially the successful professionals and business people, to make eradication of poverty one of their priorities. My fellow Vincentians, time and space does not allow me to speak at length of all the challenges facing our new, young, independent nation. Others might wish to highlight unemployment, crime, and substance abuse, all of which are equally important. I do believe, however, that it is time for a national dialogue between all concerned Vincentians, joining hearts and voices to see how we can preserve and improve this country, which we all love so much.
The Public Sector Reform Unit in the Office of the Prime Minister hosted a number of activities this week to commemorate Patriotic Week as part of celebrations to mark this country's 37th anniversary of independence. We hear more on the activities in this report.
This country's independence celebrations, the Public Sector Reform Unit in the Office of the Prime Minister hosted a Hats Off to Independence exhibition and red carpet catwalk affair earlier this week at the demolished site of the old Treasury building in Kingstown, under the theme Cherishing Our National History to promote greater levels of national pride in the public service of SVG. In her opening remarks, Cabinet Secretary Kathy-Ann Barnwell said the week of activities is meant for public servants to get a chance to show their patriotism, their commitment to nation building, as well as to showcase their creativity. Barnwell also commended the Public Sector Reform Unit for a job well done.
I've looked at the hats on display and I'm very impressed by the creativity that I see. I am seeing evidence of our local architecture. I'm seeing botany, I'm seeing agriculture, and I'm also seeing some engineering feats. So I must congratulate all the departments and ministries which went to such lengths to make sure that the products on display here are impressive, very impressive work. I'm also impressed by the costumes, and I have a suggestion here for Mr. Harry and staff of the Public Sector Reform Unit that perhaps next year, when we're doing this again under the auspices of the Office of the Prime Minister, that we consider adding the costuming to it as an element to be judged.
The Inland Revenue Department captured the first place trophy in the red carpet catwalk, while the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came in second, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries came in third. Here are some highlights from that event.
Is a display of all passports produced by the Passports and Immigration Department. The suffragette, our national flower, was reported to have been collected on the volcano in 1804. Today's theme, cherishing national history to promote greater levels of national pride, an accent that sets us apart and the sun ever shining on Hairuna dishes. The eruption of the volcano was in 1979, the same as of our national flag. This lively display epitomized what is usually seen.
The Public Sector Reform Unit culminated their 3 days of activities with a patriotic moment which entails a viewing of a documentary of the Independence 1979 signing ceremony. Nikita Tony, The Evening News.
revealing that there was an increase in revenues and grants by 6.4% by the end of September 2016. Minister of Finance, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, said that this country has performed moderately well up to the end of September. In Parliament today, PM Gonsalves laid out comparative figures from 2015 to 2016 and also disclosed that there was an increase of $9.9 million in the current revenue.
Total revenue and grants 2016 $428.23 million for the end, up to the end of September 2016. The comparable number for 2015 is $402.34 million. So there's an increase of revenue and grants by 6.4%. Current revenue of that amount is $409.64 million compared to $374.9 million, an increase of $9.3 million. So the revenue has performed moderately well up to the end of September.
And with a capital expenditure of $46.79 million in 2016 compared to $54.4 million in 2015. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves pointed out that there is still an increase in wages by some 4%.
I should point out that the wages and salaries went up by 4.4% because remember we had an increase, salary increase, and the usual increments. The capital expenditure, $46.79 million by the end of 2016 compared to $54.4 million. We should be doing better than that. So the current balance is $24.44 million by the end of September 2016, as against a deficit of $0.05 million in 2015.
Minister of Gender Affairs Frederick Stevenson has assured that the Domestic Violence Act of 2015 will come into effect very soon. Opposition Senator Zita Banwell posed the question to Minister Stevenson in Parliament today, where she queried why the legislation has not been brought forward as yet. In his response, Minister Stevenson explained that the act is part of a four-piece legislation of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Family Legislation Model. He further explained that the Domestic Violence Act is intertwined with the Child Care and Adoption Act of 2010, the Status of Children Act of 2011, and the Juvenile Justice Bill, which is before the Attorney General's chamber.
The Domestic Violence Act of 2015 not only defines the abuse committed to an adult, but also to a child. As a result, the ministry had to ensure that all the necessary regulations and training were developed for the children prior to the development of regulations to complete the Domestic Violence Act. This act recognizes all forms of domestic violence of children and adults as criminals. Hence, the evidence of the proclaimed Child Care and Adoption Act and the status of the Children's Act, as mentioned before. The last phase of the regulations for the purpose of the Domestic Violence Act will be executed soonest, as we have been making the necessary arrangements to ensure their proclamation. Mr. Speaker, until the proclamation of the new 2015 Act, the old Domestic Violence Act continues.
A call has been made for members of the public to invest in a health insurance policy. The call was made by President of the Vincentian Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors as the organization today hosted a fundraising activity to raise funds for persons living with kidney disease.
And this is a venture that has been undertaken by the Caribbean Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. So in every territory, a similar function is taking place. We decided to have this health fair today and tomorrow, basically to sensitize the public about kidney disease and to help raise funds to give assistance to individuals. So today is our first event, and tomorrow we want to have a fun walk from Kingstown to Annisvale, and then we will be having another health fair right at the car park between the post office and the old NCB building. And so we'll be having a team of about 12 or so doctors from All Saints University who will be doing the blood pressure and sugar testing for us, and they will be having information there so that persons can understand what is kidney disease and how they can position themselves to prevent it or to live with the disease.
Boyd added that various insurance companies provide services which provide protection for the financial burden which one can incur when faced with a serious illness such as a kidney disease.
Well, from an insurance perspective, we basically provide services in the area of critical illness cover, so that persons who are healthy now, you don't know what could happen to you down the road. And so today you may be healthy, and tomorrow you can discover that you are diagnosed with kidney disease, or you may have a kidney failure. And if you have certain insurance program, it can provide financial benefit to you so that you can take care of your health care needs, take care of your funding needs in case you might lose time from work and you would want to have that income replacement done. And so it's important to, going to your local insurance company and to talk to an advisor about the services that they provide in regards to critical illness, which include kidney disease, cancer, etc.
Meanwhile, PRO of the Retired Nurses Association, Sister Anita Williams, thanked the Vincentian Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors for their work in assisting persons living with kidney disease.
As we are aware that high blood pressure and diabetes are the two main contributors that cause kidney disease. We are encouraging the public, more so those who are suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, and kidney disease, to make sure that they have regular testing. And it is very important for them to comply in taking their medication. Okay? We wish them all the best, and we also wish the association, that they would make enough money so that they can help these patients, because it is a very expensive venture, and we are glad that we are part of it today.
The Annisvale Covenant Assembly, AFCA, is inviting the general public to their second-year anniversary celebrations, which will be done through a week of services from October 30th to November 6th, 2016.
My name is E. Walford Thompson. I'm the senior pastor of the Annisvale Covenant Assembly. Our motto is Authentic Voice, Compassionate Action. And we're inviting all of our friends to join us for this 2-year of celebration at the Annisvale Covenant Assembly, which is in the area where Dr. Rao practices and Dr. Davy on the highway. It's upstairs, the Eastern Caribbean Eye Care Center. We begin each evening at 7 p.m. and there is going to be exciting singing, worship services, and the preaching of the word by our brother John Lewis, who is an able man and a mature and dedicated Christian and gifted by the Lord.
Apart from the anniversary celebrations, AFCA will host its 11th annual graduation ceremony, where 8 students will graduate from the Min's Theological Institute on Sunday, November 30th. Youth Minister and Dean of the Institute, Paul Duncan, gave a brief summary of the celebrations.
We are celebrating 2 years as a congregation, and what we have achieved thus far is quite remarkable. So we just want to take this time to basically pause and just to show gratitude, and basically just to say thanks to God for bringing us thus far after 2 years. We have helped to build 2 houses so far for persons who were damaged in the storm. And also we have helped many others. We have also helped persons who have been in medical need, those who had to do things such as dialysis, those who are struggling with cancer and everything. Africa has helped a number of persons all across this land. But we just want to take this time just to celebrate and say thanks to God for everything He has done for us over the past 2 years as a congregation.
The week of activities include a leadership seminar, family night and panel discussion, and culminates with a youth rally and concert on Friday, November 4th. Special guest speaker out of Grenada, Reverend John Lewis, emphasized the importance of leadership for the next generation and particularly invite the public to a family night and a panel discussion which will be held under the topic rekindling the fire in marriage.
Family night is going to be exciting. We want to make some recommendation of how to keep the marriage alive and well and strong. The statistics show that many of our divorces happen even after 25 years of marriage. And so we want to talk about rekindling the fire and how we can make some recommendations to keep our marriages strong. It's open to the public, so wherever you're listening at this time or viewing at this time, that you will make the effort for couples to be involved. It's a dynamic panel, and we trust that you will have time, as you will have time as well to ask questions to the panel.